Hey V1 Worship fam, we are so excited that you have become a part of our vocal team. And so with your voice added to our team, we just want to support you in your journey as a singer and as a worshiper with the Lord, and give you some tips and strategies to do your best. So in this video, I'm just going to give some ideas on how you can support your voice, project, conserve, and help do your best. So let's get started. So let's talk about posture. You want to stand with 2 feet planted on the ground with your weight firmly and evenly distributed through your legs. So you don't want to be locking your knees. When you're nervous, that you might feel that. You want to make sure there's some give in your knees and your feet about shoulder width apart so that you have good balance and good strength beneath you. And then you want to just be able to bring your posture upwards, and your shoulders can be a little bit back and hanging at your side. You want to be able to take a nice deep wide breath to support your singing. The best kind of breathing that you can do as a singer is a low wide breath. So you might want to practice this at home so it becomes more automatic when you're singing. You can do this by laying on the ground and putting some books on your stomach and taking slow breaths to see the books rise when you inhale and lower when you exhale. So we want to make room in your lower body for your lungs to fully expand at the bottom of your lungs beneath your rib cage. So we want to let your ribs expand. You want to let your abdomen go out to make room for your lungs to expand. And that's a nice low breath. We don't want to see tension here. So it's a good thing to practice in front of a mirror. When you're practicing and you see tension around your larynx, that's where your vocal cords are housed, so you don't want to be creating tightness there. So roll your shoulders a little bit before you're ready to sing, before rehearsal, or when you're practicing at home. Roll your neck about. You can even do some massaging underneath. If you want to do some more warm-ups, I have another video that I shared with the team, so make sure to check that out. But make sure that this area, when you're breathing, is nice and relaxed and still. Okay, and breathing, you can breathe in a space in your mouth. The next thing we're going to talk about is projection. So breathing with that space kind of helps you get started. Okay, let's talk about projection. So projection is getting your sounds out into the microphone. And the best way to do that is to get an open mouth. So you may be used to opening your mouth a certain size when you're talking, but singing is bigger than talking. That's what I tell all my voice students. It has to be bigger than what you would do just speaking. So over enunciating your words and getting used to that while you're singing a worship song is going to maximize your projection, especially in parts of your range that might feel a little quiet or weak. So maybe you don't have a lot of strong low notes. Well, when you get down here, you can clearly sing the words so they come out clearer into the microphone. Or maybe it's in your high voice. And when you get into the higher part of your range, opening your mouth is super important. You won't believe how much more you'll gain when you open up bigger. So when you sing into a higher sound, you want to take a nice low breath and open up, not just here, but also back here. Thinking about making your ears pop. That makes your jaw open even more. So we want to get that sound out and forward. That helps to get the sound into the microphone. Also, just some basic tips. When you're using a microphone, make sure that your mouth is directly in front of the microphone. A lot of times people hold it like this, but it should be up here. So whether it's on a stand for you as an instrumentalist or on the boom mic stand, just make sure that the microphone is pointed into your mouth, not singing over it. That won't work. All right, let's talk about some of those hard to reach notes. So when you are coming up to a part that seems a little challenging for you to sing, you want to engage this area right here underneath your rib cage. Ha, ha. When you get that force of air from here instead of in your throat, that's going to give you strength that's not going to wear out your vocal cords. So when you start to get to that point in the song, don't wait for it to come upon you. Be ready for it. Think about it in advance and then sing into it from here, pressing against it. You might even, when you're practicing, want to put some pressure here so that when you are singing into that hard spot or that higher section, you're resisting. You're having resistance here to push against, and support your voice from lower instead of from your throat. When we sing from our throat, that's when we get tired out, when we get strained, and we just do that automatically. So it's about reteaching your body another way to support your singing. Let's talk about breath control. So you want to have long phrases where you're not taking breaths in between a bunch of words, right? So you want to go back to that low breath, but then to work on having longer phrases and being able to sing for longer periods of time, you can try an exercise like this, breathing in a low breath and then hissing out for as long as you can. Until you run out of air, and then you can even do counting with your breath to see if you can elongate that phrasing and that breath and use it even further. And then when you build up that breath support down low, then when you go to sing your music, think about having those goals. Now you might realize you can sing a longer phrase when you're practicing because you're not nervous, but don't worry, keep practicing. When you get to rehearsal and you do it in person, in real life, it may feel like you run out of breath quicker because you're nervous. Just remember to take slow, low, deep breaths. That also helps to calm your nerves. Okay, let's talk about singing harmonies. So there's a lot to think about when you're singing harmonies. You're trying to hear your part, remember the words, tune into the people around you, make sure your in-ear levels are right. Those are important things to take the time to do. So don't worry if you don't get all of them the first few times. It will come, you'll grow in it. If you have some trouble learning your part or getting to know where your part fits in, hit me up. Send me an email, reach out to Pastor Kial or Aaron, and they can get you in touch with me to send you a part. In the beginning, I love to help vocalists learn their harmony lines until they can start to hear it on their own. You already may have that skill, and that's great. But if you're ever not sure, feel free to run it by one of the team members so we can sound our best together. Another aspect of singing harmony is making sure that we're balanced with the singers around us. Make sure you can hear each other. If you can't hear your in-ear level mix, if you can't hear other people or you can't hear yourself, that's super important to let us know and to find out. So don't be afraid to ask or to take some time to get that working for yourself, because that's how we're going to do our best and be excellent before the Lord. What's the last thing? Oh, when you make mistakes, make them loud. That way we can help you. If you're mumbling through it, it might be a little bit harder for us to get it on the same page. So don't be afraid to be loud and make it wrong, and then we work together to work it out. We are a team, we are a family in Christ, and we can't wait to hear your voice and what you bring to this team. See you at rehearsal.